Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite leftist gaming podcast. I'm your host, Ben, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts.
I'm Mike.
What's going on? It's Matt.
Hello, it's Andrew.
How we doing, boys?
Pretty good. Good.
How's our week in gaming been? I know, like we're all just sitting, or at least 3 out of the 4 of us who are Sony ponies, are sitting in anticipation, waiting for.
You hear those drums?
Yeah, it'll be out by the time this episode drops. But as we're recording, we are still waiting in intense anticipation for Ragnarok to finally fall over us.
We've already done fake Ragnarok.
What, like, are you guys gonna clear out all your we'll say your gaming schedule, and then work schedule, say call in sick just to get some quality gaming hours in.
I have contemplated asking my boss to take at the minimum a half day the day it comes out, and I might do it. I really might. I haven't decided one way or the other yet.
So it's not like I have a 4-day weekend for Veterans Day and a 6-day total weekend for Thanksgiving.
Nice. Very, very nice. But Mike, if you're looking to jump the shark and migrate systems, all you have to do is come up here to Vermont and get one of those.
Yeah, or Venmo me, and I'll meet you in a dark alley somewhere.
So, and get one of these in-person consoles that Matt has been spying and sending us pictures of, which again is just wild. It shouldn't be wild to me, but it is.
I mean, it shouldn't, because you know where we are, and where we are is a different ecosystem than the rest of the world.
But it is still insane that it's taken this long for them to really start popping up with frequency.
I mean, I'd seen them once at Best Buy previously.
I think I saw a pallet of them once, they were under lock.
And you didn't just steal it?
No, it's they were they had you've seen the videos of the Best Buy employees stopping the shoplifters. It's these are former D1, D1 defensive tackles who are just standing there decking these people who are are just trying to steal a fucking iPhone.
Best Buy has an entire position called enforcer.
Yeah.
Where they just their criteria is the Division 1 defensive lineman with a GPA below 2.2.
Sure, there's a lot of those out there.
Oh yeah,
to choose from.
They just hire from NFL training camp. As a guy gets cut, he gets approached by a Best Buy employee.
Yeah,
and one of my teammates who was the 4th ranked heavyweight wrestler for our graduating class, who might or might not have been kicked out of school for academic reasons.
For academic excellence. For academic excellence, for being too smart.
1.2 GPA or something like that. I was told to help him with math, and his math homework was beyond my help, because it was 1/3 plus 1/2 equals identify the triangle.
Going back to fractions, man. I mean, that would have stumped me.
But I looked into it a couple of years ago, because I wonder what he's doing. Let's see what he's up to. And I typed him into the Google to see if his name came up in any headlines. And boy, howdy, there he was, felony insurance fraud.
Dude, that's not something you want to do if you're bad at math.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely gonna get caught.
So all this story to say that Best Buy should have hired this man. He was picking me up in these fucking crazy ass wrestling holds at times. And I'm not a small person by any stretch of the imagination. And he was just carrying me around like a child.
Just like a little baby, just rocking you to sleep. It's looking like it's gonna be there's no word yet on when, Mike, you might be able to experience Ragnarok, because we know it'll come to PC eventually, but I'm pretty sure what we've seen is new releases are going to be at least a year, and
then day for multiplayer games.
Yeah, that's their strategy going forward. But
which just basically means Destiny.
Mm-hmm. But you don't really have the need for anything in a while. You just started your epic journey into The Witcher. I'm doing this the 10 fingers here. ready to derail the entire podcast with talking about The Witcher 3 for an hour. But I just gotta say, like, what made you decide to jump in now? What made you decide to pick it up?
I organized my Steam library and saw it there and was like, I don't want to play Assassin's Creed anymore. Let me play.
You finally had enough. You finally had enough self-loathing and self-hatred. Just to, like, I punished myself enough. Time to play a real game.
Well, and so the last time that I did this was a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago now, and I'd picked up Dark Souls, and I was just getting ass blasted.
I mean, Dark Souls 1 in particular is probably their hardest game.
Yeah,
my level 1 skeletons. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I died a lot and I gave up on that. And then so this time
wait, did you go to the graveyard? You were dying to skeletons?
I don't know where the fuck I was.
If you were dying to skeletons, you were in a bad place for a first timer.
But yeah, so now I am running around as Geralt. I am now upset because I'm into this Witcher universe that we're replacing Henry with Liam.
That Henry Cavill.
I was going to say, did you name your character Liam?
No.
Do you know why he's leaving?
Yeah, because the writers didn't like the source material.
Yeah, he said from the get-go that, like, the showrunners intend to do like a 7-season arc, and he's like, I am committed to doing all 7 seasons under one condition and one condition only, that we continue to produce good stories that, are representative and respectful of Andrzej Sapkowski, the author's, original vision. And, I've seen some stuff going into it, like he was, admittedly has, not been happy since, season 2, the filming of season 2, which was, admittedly where they really started departing from the source material and started doing their own thing. That I was not really a big fan at all of season 2. Season 1 was good because it was essentially a episode. Each episode was just like a frame by frame recreation of the original collection of short stories. Each episode was one of the short stories, with like one exception was one from the second group of short stories. And they did something like that as well with the start of season 2. They had the one with what's his face from Game of Thrones, the big red Tormund Giantsbane, that actor. Yeah. They basically did it's the Polish version of Beauty and the Beast.
Nice.
He that's like the first episode of season 2. That was technically from.
I really wish I had a Polish joke to launch there, but I had nothing. But so insert bigoted Polish joke here.
Yeah. But yeah, what level are you at right now? I mean, I feel like you were saying, oh yeah, I beat the Griffin not that long ago, and you're already going off and doing the first Kira Metz side quest. Like, feel like you've made some progress.
I'm level 6 right now.
Okay.
I've right now just been running around looting things and just like opening the map in like the areas that I'm leveled for.
You're just chilling in Velen right now.
Yeah, I've been going to Velen. I was in the place where you start as well. Just looting around.
Is it White Orchard? I think it's White Orchard.
Yeah,
that's the start. That's the starting area.
Just been running around holding the Witcher sense down, just looking for loot. Looting around, going in buildings, stealing shit from guards, and then just running away. Just running.
I knew you'd love the game simply for that, for how much
There's so much loot. There's so much loot. It's fantastic.
But like, it's really, I've said this again, it's based on like the gameplay style you're going for, doing kind of like an alchemy based combat. You really want to do Witcher contracts there's that practical reason, but also they drop incredibly good loot. They drop some of the best loot.
I've been looking for them, and I only have like over leveled ones right now.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to do anything, but the ones that I get, I immediately do.
Yeah, but it's like I find that it's like one of the best ways to actually like immerse yourself in what it really, like the Witcher experience. It's just like you're scrounging around, you've got almost no coin, and the only way to get to scrape by, it's like, yeah, they give you at the beginning levels, they give you like 50 gold for killing an incredibly difficult and deadly monster. It's like you're getting paid absolute dog shit to risk life and limb for.
Would you say that you could spare a coin for your Witcher?
Yeah. They cannot at the beginning levels. They absolutely do not.
I ended up just like letting him keep it. I was like, keep it. One guy was gonna give me his daughter's dowry. I was like, yo, bro, 50 coin ain't gonna do much.
I may have taken the dowry. I may have been desperate for the gold at that point.
Well, then I just run around and loot shit and then sell it.
Well, oh my god, it's like. I mean, you're in such an eye-opening experience. You're going to do an open world game where you don't have to climb a fucking tower to unlock the map. The map is just there. Yeah. It's just open and for you to explore.
There's a game on the PC where you can do that as well called Elden Ring.
Yeah, but that one I had to spend money to buy. This one I already owned. Enough.
And yeah, it's Elden Ring is modern heresy. Return to a tradition. Go to
instructions unclear. Went back to play Kingsfield instead.
Oh man, they just are. The games today are just. I'm feeling my crank. I'm cranking up the crank. It's games today are just not as good as they used to make. Yeah,
you won't like me when I'm cranky.
And we just we see all that nonsense with just all the the shitty game releases we're getting. We're going to talk about the silliness that is Modern Warfare 2 with God, but first, these companies just can keep getting away with it. They can just, it's like I'm Jesse Pinkman doing that. He can't keep getting away.
Don't stop coming.
Yeah, it's like you can't keep getting away with this. I'm definitely not Malding. I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not getting.
I mean, Mike's got the dark hood on today. Feeling Sith-like.
But yeah, like before we get into the game specifics, we've got some more, just like, again, it's like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, just doing the same things over and over again. Nothing is changing, nothing is getting any better, it's just getting worse. We see Activision, number one enemy of the pod, they are.
I hope he's Activision.
Yeah, I have it here as just Activision stop union busting challenge level impossible. It's just they cannot help themselves. It's just a little union busting for me.
Ooh, for me.
So we covered this a couple episodes ago when it was just at the very end, I think, of an episode. We had a little highlight in some we were covering some shitty stuff. So it was a rare bright spot that the NLRB had ruled in favor of Blizzard Albany's ability to start conducting their union vote with their proposed bargaining unit, which is I think it's about like 18 QA testers from Blizzard Albany. This is the formerly Vicarious Visions, and so ballots have been mailed out. They are currently in the mail, but Activision has filed an appeal with the NLRB to quote unquote impound the votes until new review
count.
Until they're learning from the best. They know. I mean, their board is filled with fucking. Their board is filled with fucking former Republican staffers and all. I mean, we saw that with the chief torture officer.
Fake. These are fake votes. These are fake votes. Dead people are voting. I don't think it's fair.
Illegals are voting for unions.
It's like they're not this appeal. It's not like they're not introducing new arguments. It's just say like, no, like you need to you need to agree with us. We need to do exactly what you need to change your ruling on what you already decided was okay. They're just trying to. Yeah, they're attempting to expand the group of eligible voters again to like, the entire group of it's like
to just dilute.
It's all about diluting support. So like they put in 70 pages of arguments, which again are talking about all the same stuff. This is not new. This is what they said in that first ruling. They highlighted a quote intimidating environment in one of the hearings that was done in front of the NLRB due to ABK stop union busting banners posted on Zoom, and like that meeting was held over Zoom, and like everybody was like all the organizers and people that were all the employees that were taking part in the thing were like changing their Zoom names to again to things like that, stop union busting and doing shit like that. And like,
their feelings got hurt.
That makes us feel unsafe. But I've got some stuff here that I do want to read through there. It's again, we're not going to read through this, and I didn't even in my own time read through the 70 pages of arguments, but I just want to like make it clear again what their arguments are. So
before you do that, do we think that they're trying to dilute, or are they just like, do they just need more time to figure out how to fire these people?
I mean, it's probably a combination of both.
Yeah,
two things can be true at once.
Yeah, true.
I mean, both of them are here. Are in their best interest. In leadership's best interest.
Well, and it's also like companies, and management hate the fact that there's that NLRB rule that they can't really like sway or like interact with the union and provide like information against it, and they find all these ways to get around it. So it's that rule itself is diluted enough that it's pretty much non-existent. But that's what they're trying to do here is like look at what the people of the union have done. They're making us feel unsafe. Like would you want someone in your family to make you feel unsafe? That's the next line they're gonna come up with. And they're gonna like claim there's fucking like domestic abuse going on.
And they also frame this in terms of like, oh, we're the ones who are being truly democratic here.
Yes.
They're appealing to say these liberal ideals that like we're actually the good guys here. They're being
we're giving you individual
bigots. Choice. Yeah. So they're part of the statement. These are just kind of the most egregious bits that have been reported. It starts, Blizzard's request for review presents a novel and important issue of representation in the context of software development in general, and in the expanding sector of video games in particular. As discussed in detail below, the process of creating a video game is in many ways the opposite of the traditional production processes in which the board's precedent has been developed. A video game studio does not produce a large volume of products by repeatedly following a series of steps. Instead, a single video game is developed over an extended period of time, potentially a year or more, in which all of the employees at the studio work collaboratively to develop, test, and improve the game, which usually involves a customized set of rules, interfaces, graphics, and player interactions.
So they're trying to say like unions are reserved for people that are stupid dum-dums that are on an assembly line. Forgetting that like some of our highest level professions have unions. Me as a law grad, soon to be attorney is in a union. Teachers are in a union.
The police.
You're gonna say attorneys,
but boo, that's the only bad union.
Yeah, the only bad union. But I mean. If you're trying to argue with dinguses, sure, throw it in there. But like you saying that lawyers don't think creatively, we don't think collaboratively, we don't like have to deal with different sets of rules. Like I'm not doing the fucking a menial task, day in and day out. I'm in a union. What's so different about what you're doing there, Activision?
I mean, I've told the story about how redacted company that I used to work for made me sign an NDA when we went and visited the union plant when all the new engineers, because the union plant is the assembly plant. So that's where they send us all to see how it all goes together. Like all of our individual stuff that we work on. But yeah, we had to sign NDAs that basically said like they gave us responses for like if our shop asked what the union shop was like. Some of the responses were
can't
like
tell them how good it is.
They didn't look like they were getting a lot done.
Wow.
You cannot tell them the truth, how much better their lives are.
Yeah.
Because like when we got there, they had essentially said like, oh, like they've already hit their like quota for the day, and there was like an hour left. And like one of the dudes was legitimately just eating a muffin, sitting on the stool in his cell, reading a newspaper.
Awesome. That's what we like to see. So it continues because they like are making their case more particular, and this is not new. This is exactly what they did in this first one. This is why this story makes me crazy. It's just that these are all arguments that the NLRB has already decided against, but they like are making the claim that Diablo is even more, quote, uniquely collaborative. Diablo games are not puzzles that one might play and then put away, nor are they standalone matches such as a game of chess or a multiplayer match in the Call of Duty games, that issue in the Raven software matter. So they're even trying to differentiate again between now the successful union at Raven, because they're trying to head it off at the pass. It's like we obviously ruled that this was not uniquely different for Raven, also a video game developer under your larger aegis. So why should this apply to Blizzard? So they're basically, because they failed already with Raven, the precedent has been set. They have to be like, no, this one is particular. This one is really, really different, guys. You got to believe us. Which is why in that initial hearing, they were like showing on the record, they were putting on Diablo trailers. I'm just imagining this like really old ass fucking judge or something being like, you're telling me that this feller here, he be a necromancer, he's raising the dead to kill all these damn demons. It's just like, it makes me insane.
Joe Lieberman is sitting there.
Yeah, he has no business being there, but he's still there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
part of the walls.
Yeah,
someone say violence in video games.
They're promoting demonology and witchcraft. So none of these standalone matches, such as games of chess or multiplayer COD games. Diablo games always involve an ongoing narrative story across multiple releases, continuous character development, and intricate integrated game worlds which react to each player's choices. So that addition of across multiple releases, it's not like you guys don't have incredible fucking turnover rates.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not burning out all your employees and
argument.
They're saying that like that all these people need to work together. This entire studio it's a collaborative effort, and the union will impede that progress.
Need to expand, and they need to expand the. Got it.
So that everybody then is on the same playing field.
Well, let's unionize everyone then.
Well, I mean, sure, but like that's just not in the interest of the organizers. We know that to be true.
No, I know.
That's the trap.
Yeah. But yes, they should all be unionized, but that is a gradual process. But so the Diablo games are interactive works of art, in turn requiring, I mean, that's a stretch from the term art. In turn requiring a highly collaborative team to create a rich tapestry of world evolution, character progression, and sensory appeal. I gotta get that dopamine. There is simply no way a video game company can create and maintain a role-playing game universe without constant collaboration among the employees charged with building and maintaining that universe. This is especially true for an action-based role-playing game like Diablo. Because the story is really important. It's literally just click mouse.
Yeah.
Demon dies. It spits out loot. Release dopamine. That's that's literally all it is. But again, this is so disingenuous because, as I was just saying, like it's not like it's not like these things like are these companies are retaining their employees. So like, oh, you worked on the first Diablo, you're not going anywhere. We're like locking you into a lifetime contract where you work on every single Diablo game. These groups are constantly having to deal with crazy turnover, new voices, new creators, new developers coming in at all the time, and that's largely because of the shitty working conditions.
And
they get burned out.
If the company had its own way, they would just have fucking independent contractors that worked part-time hours.
Yeah, you could then terminate. And then you could terminate at the end of 6 months and hire for less money when the next time to start developing the next one.
Be terminated in 6 months.
Ooh, get him. But
sorry, just saw a spot for a zinger.
I really do like that they point to the narrative, which, if I'm remembering correctly, is almost always one of the major criticisms of the Diablo games, is that the narrative is like essentially skippable.
Well, yeah, because Diablo doesn't start till endgame.
Yeah, it's most of the players are there for PvP. You know, they're not there for PvE, where story comes into play.
Right.
But yeah,
similar to COD.
Yeah. Yes. Also true. Which is, we talked about this, I think, before. They had such a clever move here by making the campaign playable before the full release for pre-orders.
That's the only way people are going to play it.
Yeah, no one will touch. None of the actual diehard COD fans will actually touch it if they just basically, they're addicts. They got to get their fix. So this is like the
only way.
It's the only way they could get it, a little bit early. So of course they'll take the advantage. But then you got real sickos like this next person. The story is going to be good when it just starts out with these two words. There are these three words: a Reddit user.
I hope I just want this to be clear. I want that written on my tombstone. My name, my dates, Reddit user. That's it.
That's it.
He was a Reddit user.
No, carve my actual Reddit username into it so that I finally go
anonymous. Yeah, you can't cancel you when you're dead. So this champion, this hero of a Reddit user, claimed that they bought Modern Warfare 2 twice and were wrongfully banned both times. And then the story gets even better from there. Out of frustration, they then decided to visit Activision Blizzard's Austin, Texas location in person.
Always a good idea.
I guarantee you the first thing that the security guard thought was like, "Oh boy, I bet he has a gun."
I was gonna say, that this was a white person by the fact that the cops didn't get called and they didn't get arrested. Because this is
and just that they had the audacity to go down to no person of color would ever think to do that. That is a privileged white boy that was again able to buy COD twice.
Yeah. That's the bit that's so funny to me is you got banned wrongfully once. I can understand the frustration of not getting.
Yeah, show me the chat logs.
Well, but there, it's disputable. It's disputable if it was, wrongful or not.
Yeah, this guy had his freedom of speech violated.
Yeah,
we know what that means.
Oh man, Elon should help him out. Maybe Elon can spend like $140 and pay him back for the 2 games.
But this person is not alone. I have jokes aside, I have seen that there have been a lot of these unusual bans. I mean, unless there's a just a strong undercurrent of problematic behavior with a wide of the COD player base, that could possibly explain that away. But the fact that that they did that, were frustrated, were like, well, okay, I'll go do something else. Decided to fork over another $70 for another copy is wild to me.
Maybe the second time behavior for ban evasion.
Yeah, that's potentially likely. Because just like having the second copy doesn't mean it's like your IP address has changed.
Console that
yeah, it's just like none of that has changed. Like, your gamer tag is still the same. So this person gave their story to a reporter, and this happened on Halloween, so extra spooky behavior. So today, on that day in question, I decided to go to the nearby Activision office in Austin, Texas, to attempt to speak with an employee due to the fact that it is impossible to speak with someone over the phone.
That poor fucking employee.
Well, say it's the real the real
security guard was the real hero.
Yeah, so I was met by a security guard in the parking lot in Activision who told me that I would not be able to speak with anybody. The player then asked the security guard to relay their concerns to a worker, and the security guard agreed to do so, which is wild to me. If I was that security guard, I'd be like, fuck off, get out of here.
Yeah, but you don't know if he actually did it. He just walked inside, like turned the corner, like played Candy Crush on his phone for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, walk in, go get something from the vending machine, maybe take a shit, come back.
Yeah. Does not wash hands to make sure that
shake his hand. I'm very sorry. Condolences.
Wipe a tear from his eye, give him pink eye.
So apparently they said that a worker told them to say that that due to being short-staffed, the company would not be able to immediately fix wrongful bans. The guard came back.
Activision is also short-staffed. Oh,
no one wants to work.
The pizza place in town doesn't make pizza anymore because of that.
Are they still even open? What's the point then?
I called yesterday to order, and they're like, "Well, we're not doing pizzas and calzones for like the foreseeable future." I was like, so what you doing, like pasta?" Like, does the oven still work? Can you put garlic bread in there?
Okay, so the guard came back to me in the parking lot and told me the employee said that they are, quote, short-staffed and it will take a few weeks for the wrongful bans to be resolved. I voiced my frustration due to the fact that I'd spent $140 total, 70 plus 70, and I'm left unable to play. And the security guard told me to, quote, not allow myself to get mad about a video game. It told me that I could be patient and wait. This security guard, unquestionably based.
So based. Fuck.
So don't get mad about it where the guy is like the rapid hand movements and rolling around in the courtroom.
Yes. Don't get mad about a video game, and that be patient and wait. The fact that
what
can't
decibel level do you think the screaming and crying was?
Oh my god! Yeah.
I can't believe that the security guard survived that encounter, to be perfectly honest. Like,
you know that this person, as a
they're in Texas, so the kid was clearly open carrying.
This person, is definitely I'm surprised, didn't do a tactical takedown, a kinetic style takedown of this security guard using his extensive COD knowledge.
Breach the Activision campus.
That is not tier 1 operator behavior. I don't think you deserve to have Call of Duty reinstated if you're not willing to do that. So the fact that I cannot speak with someone at Activision Blizzard is very frustrating when I simply just want to enjoy this game that I spent $140 on. Again, absolutely cucked behavior. The fact that you spent that much money on two different versions.
I saw that some of the special editions of COD, like I think they called it like the whatever fucking Vanguard edition or whatever the fuck,
the War Crime edition.
Whatever. It was like $100
edition.
It was $100 and it came with like stupid shit like a weapon charm and like all that like silly COD stuff that people get real excited over. And then it came with like 20 hours of double XP, which for the COD chuds is like, oh
yeah.
They drink like 40 gallons of Mountain Dew for that.
Let's pay to win, man. That's not fair.
If you read the fine print of that edition, you only get that double XP if you buy the game through the Warzone store.
In the game, you've got to play in Warzone in the game.
You had to go through the Warzone store to get that part of the bonus. So people were buying it for like PS5, Xbox, Steam, like expecting to get their double XP and not getting it and not being able to refund that was the reason I bought this edition. I don't care about the weapon charm and the Fortnite skin.
So at least with Steam, you could probably get it refunded. Although they tend not to do that for special editions. They tend not to do that for special edition stuff, though.
Yes. And also you have to have played less than 2 hours. And you know how COD players are. They're like, I hate this. And then they play it for 8 hours.
Yeah. Every single night. This is my whole personality.
I'd be a pro player if so many people on the online weren't cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy energy of I would have won states if the coach kid wasn't in front of me.
That's good.
I always love those ones.
So we have to the obligatory conversation continuing over the the Activision purchase by Microsoft, the whole deal. I mean, we all know that all the major regulatory concern that has been the subject of the news of late, all revolves around Call of Duty. And Daddy Phil has come out, continues to try to assuage concerns over that, but instead makes it sound like a threat. He says, "We are not taking Call of Duty from PlayStation. That's not our intent," Spencer said. "Our intent is not to do that, and as long as there's a PlayStation out there to ship to, our intent is that we'll continue to ship Call of Duty on PlayStation, similar to what we've done with Minecraft."
Phil, what are you doing to PlayStation?
Yes, that just sounds like so yeah, you're trying to make sure that PlayStation is, put out of its misery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one was just
that is kind of what the push for Game Pass is trying to do.
Yeah, it's trying to
all the companies who can't afford to do that.
Yeah, it's trying to fundamentally restructure the market, right? Because they know that they've failed at console, in the console side of
not releasing games.
Yeah, which is all things that we'll get to. But so he tries to make these concessions in that regard, just PR concessions. That we'll
surprised Phil Spencer hasn't filmed a PR clip yet of him just shooting a PS5
with a fucking rail gun from Halo. Yeah, it's that one was just funny and worth including because it's just like so long as a PlayStation exists, we'll keep doing it. It's just wink, wink to the camera. It's like, Phil, why does that sound like a threat? Like, what the fuck?
The implications.
But regulators are continuing to probe. They're probing, folks. They are continuing to move. Different regulatory bodies are keep pursuing these different levels of investigation. And Phil Spencer has been on these. There's mainly these two wide-ranging topic interviews that people have been dissecting for basically weeks now. And so there's just some more quotes from him here that he says. He starts off, this is him talking about that, saying that he believes that these the scrutiny is fair. He's fair and deserved. He says it might be surprising to people, but I'm not an expert on doing $70 billion deals. But I do know that we're very focused on getting approval in the major jurisdictions, and I'm spending a lot of time in Brussels, London, and with the FTC here in the US. I would say the discussions have been very fair and honest. It's a big acquisition, there's no doubt. Microsoft, in its role in the tech industry, is a large tech company, and I do think the discussion around an acquisition of this size is warranted, and I've appreciated the time to go spend with them. He added, "We are really focused on getting the deal approved." Everyone loves
spending time with federal agencies
and going to Brussels. Yes,
he's both done self-negging and positive compliments now. Is this the dentist system?
So he's definitely
pickup artist.
He's definitely learning from some YouTube pickup artists here. So we are really focused on getting the deal approved in these markets. I'm confident in that. I was just in London last week. He was in jolly old. We continue to have discussions with all these regulatory boards and remain confident that the deal will get approved. But the regulators, so they say all that stuff, but then you hear news like this, that the European Commission, the EU's regulatory body, is expected to launch an in-depth second phase of the investigation, which will be determined. We're a little bit too early on the recording side of this. We would know by the time this episode comes out. They have until basically November 8th, I believe, to officially decide, but it is expected that they will launch this second phase investigation, and this is all after Microsoft has elected and chose not to meet the October 31st deadline to file remedies to the EU's antitrust enforcers. They've got till the 8th to formally announce this intensified probing. But it's like they're like, yeah, like we're confident that it's going to go through, but I'm not going to do it. We're not going to make any commitments. It's all just PR speak. They're not actually doing they're not actually doing anything concrete to assuage the real concerns.
The only thing they're doing with concrete is burying PS5s with it.
Yes,
like Jimmy Hoffa.
It's all this stuff going on. I just gotta ask: is everything all right in Redmond, Washington? Is everything okay at Microsoft headquarters? There's just a lot. I mean, we talked about it in the last episode that just big tech in general is really kind of in a tough spot right now. But there's just these other stories here that are just really making me wonder what the fuck is going on.
I assume that Bill Microsoft is just walking around headquarters with a scythe that he's just constantly sharpening with a wet blade.
No, he's too busy using that scythe to collect foreskins in Africa, allegedly. Allegedly. It's like, Bill, what are you doing with all those foreskins? We need to know.
You heard growing Americans.
Yeah, doing foreskin transplants.
Yeah.
So the first one here is, and we just kind of mentioned about like, how Xbox, has it's been long confirmed, and they've conceded that they're the big time losers in the console market. And so I know that it's an industry practice to sell consoles at a loss, to try to recoup the money on the back end with like, accessories and game sales and all that. But I still was a little surprised to see Microsoft that is losing up to $200 for every Xbox sold.
That's rough.
Well, if you remember correctly, before the consoles came out, when we were building up to their launch, both Microsoft and Sony were playing games of chicken with each other over who was going to announce price first.
The price, yeah. Well, it's also particularly interesting in regards that, all these recent talks about price increases as well.
Yeah.
That they can no longer afford to keep eating that shit, particularly because they're not releasing any games. They're not releasing any games to recoup that money.
I had a feeling back when they were playing chicken over the price that both of the consoles cost significantly more than they were going to actually say they would, because they were going to try to undercut each other.
Again, it's like Xbox can't make that back. We've speculated for the longest time that their absolute long-term goal is to stop making consoles.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't have the edge there, so why keep wasting money?
There's been a theory of mine for a while that their long-term solution would be to stop making consoles themselves and partner with Nintendo and have Nintendo be their official like hardware side.
So they keep saying they're trying to make deals with Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, there was a time a couple years ago when Microsoft and Nintendo were really doing some like peacock mating dances with each other. When they put Ori and the Will of the Wisps on Switch, when they put Cuphead, like they were putting some of their more exclusive-ish titles on Switch before they were putting it elsewhere.
Yeah, they cannot keep this value proposition going with things like Game Pass, and they can't keep recouping all their losses from the fact that they're not making any fucking games. We have this here by the end of 2022. There will only have been 5 games published by Xbox Game Studios this year, but only one of them, the forthcoming Pentiment by Obsidian, will be an all-new game developed internally. The other of the 5 are As Dusk Falls, a Forza 5 expansion.
Yeah, nice. You're counting an expansion pack.
An Age of Empires re-release.
Yep, that's the other one.
And Obsidian's Grounded, which has been in game preview for 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
They should just focus on only making Forza. Like they should just.
That's all they do now.
That and Flight Simulator. That's basically all they do. Christ.
Like the only thing they consistently release like on a schedule, like one Motorsport and one Horizon per like 3-year span.
Were they saying something? What game was it? Starfield? I don't think so, because it's Bethesda's own engine. They're saying something about the new Forza footage, like they're actually showing us what some new gen game is going to look.
That's like the Gears of War engine or something like that.
Okay, it's like they're actually showing us what this is going to look like, because like they're all talking about, oh yeah, look at this environment that like is so lush and highly, the high fidelity. And it's like, yeah, but you're fucking racing past that at 100 miles an hour, and like
I'm
not
pretty sure
actually paying
Gears
attention to
of War,
that shit.
Engine.
Oh, wild to me. It's just like, how can you still call yourself a game company at that point?
Yeah, they're basically a producer at that point. They're basically just paying people.
They're doing lots of production. They're doing lots of producing, but they've got so many games in the works. But
I think the funniest thing I've seen was someone, as there are when there are these types of articles on Reddit, there are people defending it and being like, well, like next year looks really good. And then someone like quoted that and was like, every Xbox user for the past 7 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you could say that for what, like the last 5 at least years. Next year. Yeah, we got Halo next year.
Yeah, this year may have been a bust, but at least next year's game is looking good.
Their defense was like, well, all those games are games that got pushed from this year. It's like, and you think they're all going to just release next year?
Yeah, I mean, because all that they keep saying is like, oh yeah, we've got Starfield and Redfall in the in the queue. I'm like, sure, I believe you. And like even that's still just 2 games.
Redfall had me interested until they showed it, and then it completely lost my interest.
Yeah,
Starfield's not real to me yet.
Yeah. I'll have to see reviews for Redfall. I am excited for Pentiment. I am looking forward to Pentiment. I will be playing that at the end of the month. I think that looks interesting. A nice small game. I enjoy Obsidian RPGs, so. But yeah, that's not enough. It's just,
I mean, think about it. Like, if you bought an Xbox Series X on launch, what have you played on it that isn't available elsewhere?
Yeah, no, that thing is just a dust collector at this point.
Yeah, but I use it for Game Pass.
Daddy Phil though, is making all these points that we just made. He said, one thing we've definitely heard loud and clear is it's been too long since we've shipped what people would say is a big first party game. We can have our excuses with COVID and other things, but in the end, I know people invest in our platform and they want to have great games. We're excited about 2023, and we've talked about games that are coming. These games are tracking well, and we're out of what COVID did to the production schedule. He does try to say though that it's not just them. He says, and as an industry, we have fewer games this holiday than we've had in a while. When we just think about the launches, Call of Duty is. This was before the release. Call of Duty is coming. It's here now. God of War is coming, which is great. Nintendo's had a good year, but in general, I would say we've been a little light. It's like
Nintendo just stays churning out games at their own pace. And we've talked about it. It's because they don't release them when they're ready. They just hold on to them until they can like fit their schedule proper.
Until Nintendo,
they always have something on the horizon.
Yeah, which is actually a pretty smart way to do things.
It's almost like the Toyota manufacturing Kanban system. But what do I know? I just studied that.
The final thing of here is like, yeah, what the fuck is going on with what's going on with Microsoft? They seem to be shifting their tone concerning Game Pass in light of failing to hit its goals for a second year. He's saying things like, well, we don't have this future where I think 50 to 70% of our revenue comes from subscriptions. So it's just like, I see no consistency with all the things.
Pivot.
Yeah, all they're saying. I mean, I guess that's the strategy, right? Is just distract and confuse and
I want to see Phil Spencer in the post. Phil Spencer probably got a nice pivot game. He can piece up.
I guess the only
no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, I guess the only thing they're consistent with is just that we really just want Activision really for the king part of it. We want them for mobile because like we can't and aren't producing real games or consoles to play them on. So, but we know mobile is where the real money's at. So that's just where we're shifting. We are pivoting to becoming a mobile only company and making all our money that way.
Yay.
Yeah. It's like how can you be like, we're we recognize that consoles are not where we're at, but like game service or services like Game Pass are like that's where we're going to be reorienting the landscape of the market. But then they're like, oh, but that has reached saturation as well, and so it's like, okay, then where the fuck are you going? Where the fuck are you going, Microsoft? Like, and mobile,
they're just treading water for this entire generation, just like they did for the last generation.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
You know what happens if you tread water too long? Eventually, you drown.
I feel bad for Xbox. I really do.
I? No.
I do pity them.
No, I find them very annoying online.
In the end, they're just going to be, emulator devices.
Yes.
I mean, you can already hack a Series X to run.
You could pay for it. It's $20, and like they'll give you the dev kit.
Microsoft, however, is not alone in the subscription woes. PlayStation Plus has dropped nearly 2 million users since the revamped launch. They are, however, making more money.
Yeah, because you have more tiers, so even if you lose people, you're making more off the people you had.
Yeah, it is. They're making more money per subscriber. They are down from 45.4 million to 47.3 million. They're down a couple million in their monthly active users, which I think is more important. MAUs, I think, is more important than actual subs, because that's just an indicator of the health of the ecosystem in general. I mean,
I'd be interested to see how that number affects after Ragnarok comes out, because I think part of that is that PS5 has had kind of a, like everything, kind of a lull.
Well, at this point, yeah, but they still have put out massive games so far this year. They're nowhere near close to comparison to Microsoft.
Well, I mean, yeah, just Horizon by itself probably takes anything that Microsoft releases this year and puts it in a blender.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they've despite dropping number of subs and users by roughly it's about 2 million a piece there. Their revenue from PS Plus is up by 10%, and that's all they care about. When they announced PS Plus, this is kind of what we were talking about, is like they don't need to actually compare to Game Pass to be successful. It's successful because it's making more money than PS, the old PS Now and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's it's working. What I don't know that's going to work is their marketing and their pricing for the new reality they want us to accept in PSVR 2. They gave us our official announcement date. They're launching on February 22nd, 2023, but for a whopping $550. That's $50 more than the regular PS5. They're also doing a Horizon Call of the Mountain bundle for $600. Matt, thoughts as our resident VR sicko?
I mean, based on the specs that they've put out, that's cheap for the hardware price that you're getting. Obviously, that's because of the premium of it needs to run off a PS5. There is hope among the community that because it is a single cable USB-C setup, that you might be able to hack it to run on PC, because you were able to do it with the previous PSVR. But it is higher than I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to try to slide under the PS5 price. I thought they were going to probably try to get to like $450. Mm-hmm. Being at $550 says that the hardware is probably going to be as good as it's supposed to be, because you got to pay for that, the specs they're supposed to be running.
My biggest concern is just that there aren't enough quality looking games to warrant that, purchase of that price, that there's not enough to actually bring.
I mean, that's always the fear with anything when you're early adopting, is that you're buying on the anticipation that it'll have more support down the line. They have said
all the games have legs in them.
Yeah, I don't know, that might be exclusive to MetaQuest
Metaverse
meta stores.
I mean, I watched
the only ones that have legs.
I watched a review of the MetaQuest Pro and watched the captured footage of Linus going into the actual metaverse and like walking up to a conversation of like metaverse people speaking. And it was just fucking weird, as it was just torsos just sitting there in a circle talking to each other like a Discord lobby.
Absolutely demonic. Because I always expected, it's like, maybe you can't see your own legs, but that it would always like,
no one has legs.
Paste in legs for the other people that you're seeing. I mean, VR chat does that. VR chat has legs.
I know. Something that's been around for much longer and has a much more twisted and demented usage.
Yes.
But like,
So with this announcement, though, they put out 11 new game announcements for the VR2 as well, and none of them look interesting to me. That's my big thing. There are two games, and I can't even remember the title for one. The only games that I'm remotely interested in is the Horizon one, and whichever is like the dungeon crawler, like it's like Gloomhaven D&D thing where it's like you're rolling dice and. Yeah, those are the only ones that I'm remotely interested in. Everything else still is just screams tech demo. This is a tech demo, not a real game. You're gonna like maybe get like 20 minutes of like, oh, isn't that neat? And then that's it. Because like even the Horizon game I've heard is like what, like a 5-hour experience or something like that.
For like what, $150?
Well, no, it's just for all
it's a $50
the game itself is 50, but
okay.
The game itself is not that expensive, but like you still got essentially it's like if that's the only thing you're buying it for, then it's about $600 for 5 hours.
Game. Yeah.
It's like the there's some interesting stuff going on there with Sony getting access to some meta games that haven't left the meta platform yet. So that's something to keep an eye on, just because that's another, broadening a storefront to another one. They've said that PSVR 1 games are all supposed to be worked on to become compatible with PSVR 2. It's really just one of those things that like VR is in a spot right now where like people need to develop for it. It's like that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, it's in that weird like kind of chicken or the egg situation where it's like you're only going to get people developing if there's a wide user base, and you're only going to get a wide user base if there are actual games being developed.
Yeah.
So it's like someone's got to commit.
We've now hit a point where, from a hardware standpoint, we have some pretty good hardware on the market that is relatively achievable for people who want it. Like the Valve Index is $1,000, but like you compare that to what they're charging for MetaQuest Pro, which is $1,500. And targeted towards working professionals, which is a fucking weird.
Very silly.
We've spoken about how that's a scam to get old people to buy technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, your
the 78-year-old partner at your law firm is going to be having a seizure. As
good. I mean, maybe it'll get them to quit.
So they're in virtual reality court, and there's like their defendant who's being wrongfully accused for a serious crime, and they're just having a fucking fit and just like but no mistrial, no mistrials in the metaverse.
No,
but PSVR 2, Valve Index. There's a slew of lower tier headsets. HTC still exists and makes the Vive Pro, which is a pretty decent headset for a lot less money. There's the rumor of a MetaQuest 3 that's supposed to be more targeted towards gamers, but based on the things I've seen about it, is going to be, like MetaQuest 2 already went up $100 this year to $400, and looks like MetaQuest 3 is going to be going up in price again because of the specs they're trying to push through it, because it's supposed to be a more gaming focused version of the Quest Pro.
The Meta's got to make money somewhere.
Well, they're not making money anywhere. So
So they gotta try to squeeze some out somewhere.
They finally lost their user base of Farmville, providing them all that sweet data.
all the grandparents who poured all their heart and soul into farm
their retirement funds.
Yes, and when
all their social security,
when their grandkids stopped, replying to their visiting and replying to their posts on Facebook, that's
their posts to visit their farm.
Yeah, they're all dead now. R.I.P. bozos.
But no, VR's in a spot right now where there's now enough hardware that is of good enough quality that it is time to like start developing for it and stop tiptoeing.
As I was just saying though, it's like the chicken or the egg. Someone's got to commit, either developers or the consumers, but we know where the burden is going to be placed. It's going to be on the consumer, not on the developer. So yeah, it's always the case. Maybe I should have reordered these a little bit, but because I don't have a clean transition for this, but Microsoft is not the only fucked up company or the only one dealing with some internal identity crisis. I got to ask, what the fuck is going on with Square Enix? They're just what the fuck is up here? They claim that they need to focus on mass, global appeal because of the demographic changes happening in Japan. Their graying demographics. The population is aging out of, a actual user base that can help them generate a profit.
Who had a law on number of children and favoring male versus female, or was that China?
That was China.
That was China.
That's also a fun one that's going to start to bite them in the future when you only had one child and everyone preferred males.
They say when you've got the excess of disaffected males, that's actually good for gaming.
And then you start banning
just stick them in the metaverse, hook them up to the Chinese will have to import them from Japan, but the Japan fuck machines, you guys have seen those. And keep them satisfied and turn them into nutrient slurry for the machine overlords. That's the only way. But Square is so it's what I'm seeing throughout all these companies is just the sheer inconsistency. This means again, it's at least heartening a little bit. It's like I'm not the only one who doesn't know what the fuck is going on. These big ass companies also don't know what the fuck they're doing and have no idea how to make up their minds. Because they're claiming, we need to, Japan isn't enough. But this was all after selling, all of their Western studios, claiming that they need to focus on making authentically Japanese games. They're like, we need to focus on the Japanese market. We need to, make games that appeal there. But oh wait, there's not enough, gamers in Japan to actually make a profit. So maybe selling those studios wasn't actually a good thing.
Meanwhile, Nintendo is just doing backstroke through the pool of money from Splatoon 3 selling in Japan by itself.
Yeah, Nintendo always remains the Chad in these situations, unfazed by all of this.
Sigma male.
Microsoft pisses their pants and moves Starfield to not have to compete with God of War, and Nintendo's just like, okay, we'll just play Pokemon.
So this isn't exactly Square, but this comes from them. It's like one of those Western studios. The formerly Square Enix Montreal, which just had rebranded itself as Onama less than a month ago, has been shuttered by Embracer Group, their new owner, and most of its staff has been reshuffled into other studios and projects, mainly Eidos Montreal. Many of them are working with Xbox on the new Fable game, which again I don't believe is a real game at this point because Peter Molyneux is a absolute charlatan.
I also think Fable is a bit overrated. Is it safe to say that?
I think the original one is. No, I have it on my wish list for when it goes on sale, the anniversary edition.
Well, it's one of those series that always gets sold to me as being way more than it actually is when I look at it.
Well, it was supposed to be. It was one that was, marketed as being, the game changer in RPGs. It's you could plant a seed and watch the tree grow, over time. You have all these really
Animal Crossing does that.
Interactive systems that never manifested. But even with that, fans were still saying that it was, a good RPG and still fun. I will be I'm gonna probably get it when it goes on set when I can get it on sale. Just to it seems like one of those ones as an RPG fan you should play, whether or not you think it's really really good or not. That remains to be seen. But I still think it's probably worth playing. But it's just so funny to me again that how they just rebranded a month ago and they're like, oh no, that didn't go as planned. Let's just shut it down. No good. Your name your name as a translation for the word name not inspired enough. But why do you guys think though like that they're so unfocused in what they actually need and what they want? It's like there seems to be a disconnect here in how they are saying we need to have this mass appeal, yet we cut our studios.
I have a theory that they cut their studios embracing, pun intended, for a purchase from Sony, thinking that they were on
what I was going to say.
Thinking they were on the cusp of a purchase, and they are now coming to grips with the fact that Sony is not going to purchase them, or they could not come to terms, and are now trying to change their approach.
Yeah, I think that could be a likely part of this.
That it was just marketing kind of backfiring on them, just like around the appeal, again, trying to consolidate and appeal to a purchaser who that never came to fruition.
Yeah, never materialized.
And now they're stuck holding the very tiny bag of just $300 million that they got for those studios.
No.
Well, no, we talked about that was like a significant, under evaluation of what those properties were worth.
Well, maybe. I mean, clearly, Embracer Group just shut one of them down for nothing.
Still get the IP though. That's the thing.
Oh, I agree with that. I'm just saying that like there might not have been as much value in those studios themselves as just the IP.
Right. And it's like, what they're I mean, they are still basically confirming that they are doing another. I think, and I'm pretty sure it was Deus Ex was from this.
Yes, is getting a
studio,
a new game.
Is getting a new one, but that is in the very, very early stages. So the last bit with Square here is after filing a new trademark for Symbiogenesis, many fans speculated that they were reviving a long dormant RPG series of Parasite Eve. However, it was officially unveiled that it was the publisher's first attempt at an NFT crypto bullshit game.
Nice.
Can I read for you guys the description they have in their release? You got. There's the bit at the end that you gotta. It's like
go for it.
You can't. You just can't make this shit up. It's just like so on the nose. So Symbiogenesis is a brand new entertainment content set in a self-contained world where a wide cast of characters symbiosis, all of which can be collected as digital art, an interactive story, and dedicated community. The art can be used for social media profile pictures and is a character in a story that takes place in an alternate world where the player can untangle a mystery by completing missions that revolve around questions of the monopolization and distribution of resources. Just my mind just expanding. Come on, that has to be somewhat like tongue in cheek at that point.
It has to be.
Like they have to be like nodding and winking at us there, Just like, you fucking idiots, you fucking swine. It's just like, we're being meta and clever with this. But also I think that the translation for this thing was also done by a really bad machine, an AI, because that reads as completely almost unintelligible.
Character symbiosis.
I was excited. I thought it was going to be something Venom related.
If only. If only we could get
Venom's in Spider-Man 2 as the main antagonist.
I know, but still, I just want more Venom.
Is Venom going to be in Midnight Suns?
Yes, but as one of the bad guys.
Yeah, as one of the baddies, yeah. It's just like, I mean, all these Parasite Eve fans, like, they're taking on the the lion's share of
the vaunted
shitting on Square
Parasite
for
Eve
this.
fandom.
They are at least vocal enough to ratio this announcement into oblivion. Is that going to stop them from pursuing this? No, never. They're in too deep. They're in too deep at this point.
And Square's the one. They're the one that's been super headstrong into the NFT crypto thing.
They are.
Like that was their
the
CEO or whatever, right? Is who
still
released that letter at the beginning of the year.
Still very bullish on NFTs and the like, because that was all part of that earlier bit about like how they need to have a mass global appeal outside of Japan. They're like, part of that's going to be with blockchain games. That's they still think that's a good thing. It's like, I don't know if there's something that's getting lost in translation here, or they're just, again, because, I mean, let's just be real, it's that these are just rich elites who have no actual connections to the real world, so they're not, there's a good chance he's not even aware that people don't actually like this. He's like, yeah, sounds good to me. Let's make me some more money. They're like, under this, I don't remember the Twitter user who posted it, but just the Final Fantasy meme of Barrett just saying, "The planet's dying, Cloud, and these crypto fuckers are trying to get us to burn down half the rainforest for a damn JPEG." And it's just like, it's just mwah. Other people posting, it's like the cover image of Cloud staring up at Shinra HQ, and instead it just says Square Enix written over it. It's like, they have lived long enough to become the villains.
Were they just good at writing a villain because they were just writing autobiographically?
Yeah. They knew from experience. Yeah.
I mean, they did a good job of this, where they dropped this and then they immediately just started dropping Final Fantasy 16 information.
Yeah. Just as a distraction bomb.
Because we're supposed to be getting the release date at the end of this month. So.
All right, so I have kind of lost track of time here, but we got to bring mention of this story. It's our final mention of the week. I really want to get everybody's opinions here. So we all probably know now about the attack on the notoriously crooked and corrupt husband of Nancy Pelosi, Paul Pelosi, by some deranged
gay lover.
Some deranged guy wielding a hammer, screaming, "Where's Nancy?" But apparently it was revealed that he was first radicalized by Gamergate. Yes. He's a gamer, folks. Do we stand in solidarity with this deranged gamer, or do we condemn him?
I mean, maybe if he got Nancy.
I mean, Paul is
in game,
only in Minecraft, But this. I mean, it was this guy's own blog post, saying he this was not like, an extrapolation that people were making. It's like that, love to blame every reactionary, point of view on, as coming from Gamergate. People love to do that. This guy, claimed he's like
straight up said it.
Yeah, he said it.
My favorite part of all this whole thing though is like he said he was radicalized by Gamergate, that he's to right wing this, right wing that, but right wing media was like, no, he was motivated by being turned down as his gay lover. This was his gay lover.
Oh.
No, forget what he said in his blog.
They swapped it to illegal immigrant the second they got that one.
Did you see where he was living? They had a rainbow flag.
Yeah, he used to live in a hippie commune in like 2013, so he must be a leftist, despite everything he said in the past 2 days.
No, it's not even it's in the past like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, his review of Black Adams was very
See, this is not what Black Adam said
is
with
changing the hierarchy of power.
That's not what he meant. That's not what he meant by changing the hierarchy of power in DC. That's not what he meant.
Definitely not doing it at the box office. I think it's performing at like 40% of Justice League or something like that.
Wrong DC. But oh man, it's just Gamergate continues to be a thing.
It's never gonna go away.
Cursed timeline.
Yeah, it has absolutely broken so many people's brains, both obviously on the right, but liberals as well.
And there's an entire subreddit whose mission statement includes that they will never forgive or forget Gamergate.
Never forget.
Oh, no. Someone in response to these things were posting it's wild to think about the games that Gamergate was surrounding. The one, I forget what the one was, like Depression something or whatever, and it's like how zero cultural impact they had when actually looking at things, and yet they again are still so fucking butthurt about it. But that is that's again, it's wild, that this guy almost murdered the Speaker of the House because he was radicalized by women in video games and The Rock in a DC film.
Taking away our safe spaces.
This is an incredible time to be alive. Relish it with every moment that you have left. And spend the rest of your time escaping it all, playing video games.
And if you're a listener out there and you're out in public and you see a gamer, cross the street.
Get as far away as possible.
You can detect them by their signature smell.
I was going to say the odor is what gives them away.
Yeah, the conspicuous lack of deodorant.
Or shower and
the layers of grease on their hair,
If you look at their fingers, they will be stained orange.
Yeah, I was gonna say orange fingers are another critical indicator.
And not if you're a real gamer and you have those little finger chopstick things
that
you get the ads for on Instagram all the time.
Yeah, when you could just use regular chopsticks and have the same effect.
No, it's
but these ones are attached to my hand, so I can be gaming and then
they're rings. Yeah, they're rings that you just keep it on and you just yoink.
That way you'd be hitting sick headshots and flicks in COD, and then pick up your Dorito, which is probably the hardest thing to pick up with those things.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Crush. Snap. Oh no, my Dorito. It's really just for cheese poofs.
Yeah, and Cheetos. Hot Cheetos.
So anything else that I may have missed today? Anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
While I was out at the grocery store, I saw a kid hit the gritty.
Nice.
This is 2019. But yeah, so where are you currently in The Witcher? Well, we start and end with The Witcher.
I'm trying to kill this botchling, which is very hard.
You're making moves.
That's a level 6.
But that's pretty far into the Bloody Baron storyline, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mainly I did a bunch of his storyline.
Okay. Don't forget to do side content, because
I've been doing a ton of side content.
Really helps you level, but it's also some of the best side content out there. It's
I know. I've been trying
informs the story.
Well, I was trying to get more Witcher contracts, but I was running out, and I was opening up the map, and then it just kept telling me to go do this, so I went to go do it. And
I don't remember
the botchling won't fucking die.
I don't remember it being too difficult. You may have to use the Yurden sign.
I have
the magic trap. I forget.
No, it's Ard, but it doesn't do anything. It does a little bit of damage. It's just it takes so much damage is the issue.
Yeah. You'll get it. You'll get it.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, actually, no. You know what? Because I didn't kill the botchling. I changed it into a.
I was trying to, but then motherfucker dropped them. The Baron dropped the botch.
This is a pro-life podcast.
I was trying to make it a lumberkin.
Yeah,
but then
These are just words to me. You are just speaking syllables.
It's Polish stuff, man. It's Polish.
Yeah. Polish isn't real.
No, you're right. It's not. It is a fairy tale.
So actually, that's what I'm remembering. No, you didn't. I did not. I succeeded in changing it into a Lubberkin. Because you get attacked by wraiths and shit, don't you?
Yeah.
While you're walking, it's because it is a classic. What is the name of that type of quest where you've got to accompany somebody, or you got to? There's a better term for it. I don't know why I'm blanking on it. When you like have to, you've got an NPC that you've got to get from point A to point B. Say
I call those annoying quests.
Not a fetch quest. It's
not a fetch quest.
Oh man, it's gonna bother me. It's like it's so simple.
Security detail,
quest, guiding quest,
whatever. Folks at home, you can message us on Twitter, tell us how dumb we are and how we're not real gamers.
Particularly send it to my Twitter.
Yeah. But follow us at CampCompod on Twitter. Come check us out live at Twitch at twitch.tv/Campaign Comrades. Mike, hit him with your TCG Player plug.
Find me at Cut the Mic Gaming at TCG Player. Get me do some deals.
Oh, I forgot. Like I was getting a gift for somebody, was trying to get one of the 40K Magic sets, and you ordered it from Target, and they sent us the wrong one. So if you can get a Forces of the Imperium deck and sell it to us on TCG Player, you can get a new customer.
Nice.
All right, folks, we will see you later. We love you. Smooches. Good night and good gaming. Bye bye.